Good evening, traders. I'm Pascal, joining you through Victory FX YouTube channel. So today, the main reason for this Zoom. So when we move on to the farming calendar, here we see we had a few trade opportunities as well. So I was unable to trade because I had some work during this time period. GBP unemployment rate, UK unemployment rate was uh, dropped, which means GBP uh, started to appreciate, and CHF inflation was also dropped, which means CHF uh, was weak, depreciate. So looking at the trades, GBP JPY was the best pair to trade for the employment rate movement. So here we see here this was the movement. Now we will drop down 15 minutes. Right here we see 80 pip movement. So as you all know, news trading is something different. We have to take profits quickly because sometimes news events may, like especially the lagging indicators, doesn't make a long-term movement. But here, like the GBP was able to make a good movement right here. So when we drop, let's drop down to the 1 minute chart, and here you see the movement. So if you lose, like it's like quite difficult to enter to a trade just within the uh, news release in time, because most of the brokers doesn't provide a good spread and trade execution. So though within after the first minute, still we had a chance to get 42 pips. And for the CHF, USD CHF was the best trading element. So I'm telling you that at 1 o'clock, the moment is was happened. Here we see around 60 pips. After the first minute, we had a chance to catch about 35 pips. Right, let's move on to the upcoming news events. The most important and the most tradable event is for inflation rate, MOM, and uh, inflation rate, MOM. So I think you all know the difference between the core inflation and the inflation rate. This 7 p.m. we get all the news with the data around 7 p.m. So we have to to trade usually to trade when I trade gold and USD JPY for this US news events. So let's see how to forecast a news event. So first I will move on to tradingeconomics.com. You also, as traders, you can also access this website for free. So let's move to countries and United States. So as a trader, you should there are some important things, important fundamental points that you should know as a trader. So to trade for the CPI or to forecast CPI, we should understand the data and already data available already, and using those data we can forecast CPI. So let's just look at get an overview idea about the overview of the United States economy. So I will just go through these events and give a small explanation so you can get an idea about what is the current status of the US economy. So as you see, GDP growth rate was little it was dropped to 3.3. But when trading this GDP in January and December, make sure you trade to this annual GDP growth rate, which was an increase. So as I remember, gold was dropped, though the MOM was reduced. Still, the gold went on a huge sell movement. Unemployment unchanged, non-farm payroll was an increase, which means economies like companies pay more to their employees, and inflation rate is increased, and now we are forecasting this inflation rate. MOM, right? Balance of trade was dropped, but as a trader, I'm not considering the balance of trade of US because it was being a negative value for quite long time. So next, business confidence was increased, and manufacturing PMI 50, non-manufacturing PMI, service PMI, everything is 50. You know that 50 is a key level. When the PMI PMI values are higher than 50, we consider the economy is running in a quite good level. And you see consumer confidence and retail sales also have been increasing continuously. So next, let's move to the labor. Uh, Initial jobless claims was dropped. Counting jobless claims is also dropping. ADP employment change dropping. Uh, and wages, let's look at wages. Wages slightly increase. Minimum wages were unchanged. Wage growth. This is the important thing. Wage growth. Let's see when was the last wage growth data was available. Wages in US, United States increased 6.77% in December. So it's an overall increase. Mm, right. If there's anything important, make a note. Mm, Next, we will move to business. Business confidence is, as we checked in the OB, which is growing. Manufacturing PMI positive, non-manufacturing PMI positive, service PMI positive, composite PMI positive. Industrial production MOM is increased. Industrial production in overall increase. Manufacturing production increase. With that, uh, the orders, there's a slightly, this is also increased. Like you see the last data playing with orders, as I remember it was from January, I think. Mm, yes, I guess it's also December, right? Reference December, that means it was like the December data was released in January, so this can be considered as a valid data. Uh, bankruptcies also increased, but nothing like quite new to the economy. Mhm. Right again. ISM manufacturing employment drop, new orders increased, manufacturing prices increased. These are important when forecasting CPI, like it was in January 2024, like they are like latest news. And new orders, non-manufacturing like service, new orders also increased, prices also increased. So this is more likely to be increasing in a CPI values. So let's see, like that's the thing. Consumers, we will see about the consumer confidence increased, retail sales increase. Yeah, everything is increased. Consumer spending is also increasing. I saw a news in Forex Live that US citizens are spending like hell. So with that, like the economy is doing well in USA. So let's go into the calendar. We are focusing on core inflation rate MOM. So the forecast is to be unchanged. YOY is to be dropped. Inflation rate MOM unchanged. Inflation rate is forecast to be dropped. But my personal view is, yeah, the inflation will not drop by this value. It will either remain unchanged or most of the time. I hope this will increase. So let's look why I say. So and to forecast the US CPI, I will go back to the US economic data. So first I look at the recorded prices. So here I want to look at the PPI, which was released last month. Yeah, not this one, CPI. I will do ESN.com is a little bit slow in Sri Lanka. But January 12th, we got the December data. It was a drop. Like December was 0.000%, and in January, the December data was like drop. That means there's a chance, like if the December data is decreased, we can see that the inflationary pressure has been reduced. But the other points, let's look at the other points. That the main point is PPI. Last month, previous month PPI value. Next thing is uh, we look at the CPI, correct? CPI data, consumer price index, inflation rate, MOM. Last month, this also right, we got the CPI data on inflation MOM final. It was unchanged, but in January it was an increase, right, 1 to 0.3. So we can take the PPI has been invalidated because we get the CPI data after the PPI data. So there will be, I will like count 1 point on increasing the inflation. Let's look at next the unemployment level. Unemployment level, initial jobless claims have been reducing, counting jobless claims also reducing. So which means like overall, most of the people have jobs and they have money to spend, which means there will be an demand for goods because people have money to spend, which will ultimately affect the economy and increase the inflationary pressure. Next, we will look out about the wages. See how you can see wages also have been increased, uh, which means practically we can think like when people have more money in their hand, they tend to spend more, which means like uh, there is more possibility to increase the inflation in 2020 February. Next, we will look at the commodity prices. Commodity prices, we will look at the US oil. Like you can see that I will move to the here you can see in the month of January, the commodity prices have been rising like hell. Like I expect it will reach the 90 level, this high. Uh, so commodity prices have been increasing. You can remember that there was a crisis in Red Sea, which made many of the ships to increase their traveling route. So it's also ultimately affect the prices of the goods because the companies that use the shipping transports have to manage an extra cost incurred because of changing the route. Like simply the distance was increased because the ships had to move around the South African continent. Uh, sorry, African continent. So with that, I hope the inflation would rise in the month of February. And let's look at the housing stock. New home sales also have been increased. We'll see about the housing prices. Housing prices unchanged, YOY increased. These are November data, so we can get like housing starts have been increased. Sorry, have new home sales have increased by in the December. So with that data, I hope US inflation will increase, which means we can focus on gold and USD JPY. And I'll show another extra point. Like I think I didn't enter to this trade though there was a upward movement. Like I'm expecting a downtrend, like gold to be dropped during the news event release. So I will like wait there. Here we can see a good force. Here we can see a good level, but this will be the moment. If this hike is taken up, core will definitely go to the 2030 range. It's also a strong resistance, and I hope with the inflation, like if someone is new to this markets, what we can like why USD gets strong when the inflation is rising. It's because the US government or the Fed cannot make a rate cut. The main remedy that is implemented by any uh, government or any central bank to control inflation is increasing the interest rates. So with the inflation is like in US, say they target the inflation to be around 2%, it's optimum level. So since still the US inflation rate is high, you can see inflation rate is 3.4. So if it keeps continuing to rise, still US government can't move into rate cutting cycle. So that's why when the interest rates is increasing, more money comes towards the economy because most of the investors want to get a good return for their investments. So with that, the USD dollar will be strong, like will not the VIX actually, currency index, Dixie. Dixie will like move. Check the potential up movements right here. There is an imbalance around here. Dixie can like move up to like this level. Uh, with that, we can focus on gold. I will I will not look for buy trades until the news is released. So my bias is to gold to be sold at any time. This level is also good, like we getting a divergence, but the price action is still towards the buy side. You can see there is no any selling pressure around here. Um, if someone wants to get like can hold the risk, this is a good trade opportunity. 50 pips and hold. I hope this will come back to 2010 because there is no any geopolitical tension around. We can check this that as well. Stock index VIX is something not going well actually. VIX is increasing, right? Something bad is happening around the economy. VIX is increasing, mostly USD JPY will also increase, but just another reminder, news trading is something like we enter to a trade and get out of the trade as soon as possible as we get our profit. We have to get secure your profits. So back to the gold. I don't think this will come back to 2010, but gold will like something drop to this 2020. Yes, to 2020, definitely 60 pips, 100 pips, there will be a moment. Yes, yes, that's it. And let's move on to the other pair, USD JPY. I hope USD JPY will keep moving up. I'm looking for this 150 level. And then it might be this way reach the 150 level for sure. Right, that's it, traders. So this is my prediction and my forecast about the CPI. So uh, manage your risk. This is not a signal service. This is just an idea of a trader or of an individual trader's opinion. So make sure you manage your risk very well. So good luck with CPI. I will be uploading this YouTube video as soon as possible. So good luck, traders.